Good morning, Britain. Healing the health service. Rishi Sunak reveals radical plans to boost the NHS workforce. It's the biggest shake-up in its 75-year history, but it's a year late and only funded for 5 years. So will it be the fix the service needs?
Well, some say it is a beacon of hope for staff on the front line. Others say it's an attempt to fill a leaky bucket and there should be more focus on retention. We'll be speaking to both the Health Secretary and the Shadow Health Secretary about these plans later on in the show.
Over 400 arrested as violent clashes between police and protesters in France continued for a third night following the fatal shooting of a 17-year-old boy by a police officer.
Robbed at gunpoint while running the length of Africa. We're joined from Angola by the British ultramarathon runner known as the hardest geezer, who's refusing to let the terrifying incident hinder his record attempt.
Plus,
I don't want an insecure man, for one. I don't want a man that's going to let me lead. Like, I need a dominant man.
it's the talk of the Love Island villa, but do women really want to take the lead in a relationship, or should ladies call the shots? I'd love to know what you think. As you can imagine, we're going to be debating that after 8.
And he's a superstar spaceman who's swapping performing with Hollywood A-listers for singing on the small stage. Sam Ryder will be explaining why, and we will have a very special acoustic performance for us. We always love Sam Ryder coming on the show. He's here after 8.
And it's going to be a cooler day all round, with winds picking up and rain spreading east. All that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Friday, 30th of June, 2023. Live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Ben Shephard and Kate Garraway.
Hello there, good morning. She's just looked at me and she said, well, I'm just not sure everything's done up and I'm not sure I'm strapped in.
Well, the director, Tom, I'm naming him and shaming him, he made me go and change my dress 30 seconds before the show. Tell you what, that MBE is not worth the mess it's written on.
You've got
still
no
getting bossed
sway,
around.
have you?
I can't even dress myself.
The reason you had to change the dress because it was strobing, so if you'd been looking at it first thing, it would have made your eyes go funny. It's when a pattern on a dress sort of shakes on the picture.
Well, Holly and Wardrobe and I said it was a small price to pay because it was a lovely dress.
It was a lovely dress, and they'll never know. And now we've got the advantage of not being sure everything's done up and you're strapped in as well. So
yeah, exactly. Doors to manual, anything could happen.
What could happen? Talking of strapping yourselves in, there's been a survey, Kate Garraway, that's been done to reveal the best dance floor fillers that there are.
Oh, yeah. I love a dance floor filler.
Interestingly, not one of the top 10, the youngest or the most recent hit is 2015, which is Uptown Funk.
Wow.
The majority of them are all oldies. Dancing Queen at #1.
Oldies, he says, putting his glasses on because his eyes are going.
And being more studious. Dancing Queen #1. I think, Charlotte, this is yours.
I do love this one. This is guaranteed to get me on the dance floor, even dancing this morning.
You look like you're going out dancing now, actually.
Thanks.
Ready for a good night out with your neon?
She's got the Friday vibe going.
Come on, Eileen, Dexter's Midnight Runners.
Oh, that's brilliant!
A leather waistcoat is always the dance on the dance
That
floor,
is my student union days. Whenever it came on, you just had to get up and go.
I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston at #3.
Brilliant song.
Alex, you like I Want to Dance with Someone?
Oh, yeah, I love this song. Great song.
You got A Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon is at #8.
Great.
It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls.
Yeah?
I think this is one that would get me going. I think I was quite surprised there's not more recent ones. Mr. Brightside by The Killers.
Killers, that's a brilliant song.
What's your guaranteed?
Oh, gosh, I don't... Well, I would have said Dancing Queen, actually. It's just that... So that makes you just
it's
think...
The what?
You know the bit at the beginning? Where
No,
I don't know. Listen.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's further in.
No, they don't know either. They don't know either.
That's further in.
You're not a deep
further in. But Jackie Wilson, Higher and Higher.
Yes,
it's another oldie.
Year you were born.
Your love is lifting me. That one.
Yeah.
It's a great one. I always start low down and then come up.
OK, have you got something a bit more contemporary?
Well, see, I grew up in the era of garage music, so shout out to all my garage ravers. I like Sweet Female Attitude. It's, you know...
you bring me flowers?
Yeah, I'll bring you flowers in the pouring rain. We might get some rain today, actually.
It seems very apt for somebody who does the weather.
Yeah.
You're having a weather-themed... Have we got it?
It's just a great feel-good song that keeps everybody on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Well, it might...
well, look, let us know. I'm surprised by the top 10. I mean, there's lots of classics in there. Tina Turner's got in there. Living on a Prayer, of course, which Laura would have loved. Don't Stop Me Now. But what are the ones that get you going? Something
especially something from after 2015.
Yes.
Because that's the youngest song, isn't it, on this that's made the list. So something after 2015 that's really got you going would be great. We're going to get everybody feeling happy this morning, aren't we? Rishi Sunak...
He's trying. ...is
hoping to make us all feel good about the health service and our medical situation. He says shorter degrees in medicine, apprenticeships and £2.4 billion in funding are what he's proposing in these radical plans being forwarded by the government to solve the NHS England's severe staffing crisis.
Yeah, more than 300,000 extra nurses, doctors and other healthcare workers will be trained over the next 15 years. We're going to speak to Katie Rickett, who's at GP surgery in St Helens Hospital for us this morning. Morning, Katie. So Rishi Sunak is calling this the biggest recruitment drive in the history of the NHS.
That's right. It's been described as a once-in-a-generation opportunity, a chance to create 300,000 more doctors, nurses and medical professionals. And they're going to do that, basically, by opening up way more training places, by cutting degrees down from 5 years to 4, and also encouraging more apprenticeships so that people who are coming up through the ranks actually get involved in the NHS quicker. But they also say they need to retain those staff, and yet that is where the devil is not in the detail in this long-term plan. Now, I'm joined by Greg Irving, who's both a teacher and a GP himself. What are your thoughts on this plan, Greg?
Yeah, I think broadly the report is welcome and the plans for increasing recruitment are welcome. Most of the medical students I train at Edge Hill University are committed and want to work within the NHS. The other side of the coin is that people are concerned about retention. A lot of the GP colleagues who I work with, they report difficulties with the workload and challenges that they face from that point of view. Some have left and gone to Australia, others working still within the NHS but finding the conditions quite challenging at times.
OK, thank you very much, Greg. And there might be a reason for that. Greg was just saying a lot of people who trains up go to Australia. That's because the wages for an average GP's wage over there is about 132,000 compared to around 70,000 in the UK. So you can perhaps understand why some people are feeling like the grass is greener and the sun shines brighter. But we spoke to some of Greg's students over at Edge Hill University about what they think of the plans. The next generation of doctors preparing to breathe new life into the NHS on the eve of its 75th anniversary. These student doctors welcome today's announcement on the doubling of medical school spaces, but are worried about things further up the ladder.
Just increasing the number of medical school places doesn't mean that that's going to increase the number of doctors at the end of it, because there's already a bottleneck for people applying for the postgraduate jobs and people trying to get further on in their training.
I think I've wanted to be a doctor for as long as I can remember. There's already not enough foundation training posts for the current medical students and placement opportunities.
Although the number of GP training posts will increase by 50% under today's plans, there's no detail on training posts for hospitals or any obligation for qualified doctors to stay in the NHS. The British Medical Association has responded to the plan by saying there's no point having more students if there are no academics to teach them, no spaces to learn in, and no consultants and GPs to supervise them once they graduate. Retention is key, and that's where today's announcement feels particularly light.
You belong here. Western Australia. Be part of this team. And this one.
But with the lure of a better work-life balance on the other side of the world, and the pay and conditions of doctors here never more in the spotlight, the Prime Minister needs this long-term plan to have some short-term results for him to secure a vital NHS workforce for the future. Katie Rickett, Good Morning Britain.
Well, we are going to be joined by the Health Secretary, Steve Barclay, after 8 o'clock. So we'll be hearing more, hopefully, about how this is going to radically change up the NHS and give everybody hope in that, and also putting some of the criticisms that have already come through about the plans as well. But first, Charlotte's got the rest of the day's news.
Kate, thanks very much.